deep connection with Radharani last night than I've ever had at Radha Kund.
It was
There was something about the atmosphere, the environment, everybody packing together. And Mohan Pandit just said, after we did the offer, the Radha Kund water to Radha Kund, he just said, close your eyes, think of Radharani, offer prayers to Radharani. And I was just like, oh, I felt like, I felt like a cowherd boy leading a calf. I was a calf.
Yeah,
led by a cowherd boy.
And he's doing one thing after another, like he's sprinkling water on you now, and then he's pouring milk in your hands, and then he's putting some flowers in your hands, then he's sprinkling more water on you. It's kind of like you're going through this bath or something.
Yeah, it's like a cleansing ritual. Close your eyes. Pray to Radharani. Radharani's here.
And what I really loved, and he did it several times throughout the course of it, is he said, now close your eyes. And then and this is what no other pundits, I've never had a pundit do. Now go deep, go deep, go deep in your prayer. You know, like that's the point. Is that you don't just get there and do a ritual just like mechanically and go. He said, now you go deep into your heart, really pray to Radha. You know, that was in you. And then you're sitting there, you're sprinkled, you got all there's aroma of flowers.
Someone's spilling milk down Mara's back.
But yeah, but it feels good. You know, it's like messy, but like spiritual messy, you know, that's like, so you're all covered in,
and he's all in
rose water. And
he's got his dhoti on. He just walks in the water like
he's halfway
in the water in his dhoti. He's like, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, you know, there's like messy and dirty, and they're two different things, right? Like messy can be pure, right? And so they're like all the messiness is like all pure ingredients. And of course, there's nothing pure than like the water of Radha Kund.
Yeah.
But and everything that's being offered, you know, lotus flowers, roses, you know, burning camphor, all the aromas are just super beautiful and satisfying. And visually the whole thing is so stunning. And then you're covered in water and you got the milk in your hands and the flower aromas and everything. And then he's saying, close your eyes and now go deep, deep, deep. And it's kind of like all your senses are like purified by the sights and the smells and the sounds, bells ringing and mantras being chanted. It's all just powerful spiritual energy. And it starts to open up the heart, melt the heart, you know? And then he says, go deep, deep. And you're like, yes, you know, this is what I need to be doing.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Govardhan Hill, this is Wisdom of the Sages, the daily spiritual podcast with your host Raghunath and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Govardhan Hill. This is episode 1456. It's October 29th. Where are we going? Where are you going? Hey, Kaustubha, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
You know, it's this afternoon. It's hard to do the show in the afternoon, don't you think?
It depends. Sometimes it's easy, but
I don't know. I get slow around 4-ish. We just had an incredible lunch. We're going to talk about food for a moment. There's this beautiful Bengali family in ashram, and that we've been eating there, and it was quite wonderful. We had eggplants, samosa, pakoras. We had puris. We had pilau, fancy rice. Pilau. Incredible.
Very nice.
Incredible halva too. Cardamom halva.
I didn't take any just because I'm being a little careful with the sweets.
You know, anyway, we had a nice half prick around Govardhan Hill, a nice Bhagavatam class in the morning. And we're inspired. Tomorrow, people get a little wiped out when you go to, you know, it's not like Vrindavan or Govardhan. It's not, it's like a vacation town. It's like work. You get that?
It can be, yeah. I mean, especially when you have just a short amount of time and we're trying to squeeze everything in.
There's the principle of 3 days or 3 years. We were talking about that yesterday and this morning. How if you go to Vrindavan, you really got to be on your A game because it's Krishna's Dham. It's demanding a lot out of us. And just like the flow of a wave can be ecstatic or it can be treacherous. If you're going the wrong way on that wave, it's a disaster. It's a wipeout. So in the same way, in Vrindavan, if you're going with that flow of humility, service, then you have this ecstatic time. If you're going the other way, it's a wipeout. And so you get challenged at every step of the way. Krishna challenges you at every step of the way. Krishna wants to see, do you want him? Do you want him or not? And then he sometimes gives us some situation. And sometimes even on this trip, I could say it's like I'm flying high, and then all of a sudden my body feels a little weird, and it sort of throws me for a loop. But I think everybody's in pretty good spirits.
Yeah.
We got one big day tomorrow. And that's sort of our last day of the trip. Last full day. Yeah, I'm looking forward. We're going to Vrindavan, leaving Govardhan, going to Vrindavan, and temple hopping, little shopping, little hopping. Damodar Artik in the evening at Krishna Balaram Mandir, see Prabhupada's Samadhi, pay some serious, because I'm reading this Yamuna book now. I'm having so much Prabhupada appreciation, and I finished the Vishaka book. I'm just really getting into just these early times with Prabhupada. So I'm really excited to actually go to Prabhupada's Samadhi, offer prayers, and just reflect and meditate on him.
Nice.
That's where I'm at.
You know where I'm at?
Where you at?
It was really nice, the lunch that we went for dinner. We arrived, in the afternoon yesterday?
Late
Kind
afternoon.
of late
like-
afternoon.
Like, yeah.
And so then we had to get it together pretty quick, and then we went for dinner. And then we went for lunch at the same place. It's a little ashram, not far from Radha Kund.
Mm.
So from like the place that's most sacred to us. And then it's like, it's a simple little ashram. It's got, I don't know, maybe about 10 rooms at most. Maybe something like 10 small little rooms that people that want to spend some time in the area of Radha Kund can come and do their sadhana and go to the Kund occasionally and come back. And then there's like a big living room and a big open kitchen. The kitchen kind of opens up to the living room. And there's this Bengali family that's just really running the show. Right? They have a big altar, kind of like your altar at home. Lots of little deities all over the place. Real sweet Vrindavan mood. And then there are all these Bengali ladies, and there's some kids running around. There's a dog even running in and out of the house. There's like, but it's got a real family feel in there. And they just welcomed us like family. And they're also welcoming like other groups that are kind of coming to Vrindavan for Kartik, but that are like from Bengal or from Assam. These people have simpler needs than us, right? They're just flopped all over the place.
I mean,
they
we're
just
saying
flop
this-
on the floor.
We're saying like this is old school pilgrimage, and it reminded me of it when we used to go on Gaur Mandala prayer room, or when we lived in the ashram, and the ashram is going to do a pilgrimage, and it was like super bare bones. You're sleeping on a mat. Like these pilgrims, they are not kids anymore. They're like people in their 50s and 60s. Cramming on a really lousy bus that looks like it was welded together in a metal shop of a teenager, a high school teenage metal shop. And it's like they're driving from Assam, which is like northern India by the Himalayas. They come to Radha Kund, they stay for a month, and they just, imagine if I took a group and I said, and then they'd be like, hey, Raghunath, what are all these tarps?
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, the tarps? Well, they act as sort of like you lay them down, you sleep on them.
More or less burlap on concrete.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then they'll put some tarps up for a wall.
Yeah.
And you're just sort of like sleeping up there. And there's something about Indians. They can just sleep anywhere. It's like they have this incredible ability to just like lay down on the floor like it's no big deal. Americans were like obsessed with get off the floor. The floor is dirty.
Yeah, we came in off the road, and you come through the gate, and you're kind of in the courtyard of the place. And there's just like lots of people just lying on the ground. They're happy though.
Lying down.
And we just offered our obeisances to them, and they offered their obeisances to us. It was like, we're from the other side of the world, but we all love Sri Chaitanya, Nityananda.
Yeah.
We all love kirtan. We all love Radha and Krishna. And we don't even have to speak the same language. You just look into each other's eyes, and it's like, I love you. And we love you.
You could see they're excited to see us.
Yeah.
And he offered obeisances. They all offered their obeisances. They all said, "Ah, Jalani, Haribol." Very sweet.
And then we sat around in the living room a bit, and off to the sides of the living rooms are all these different rooms where they're just all flopped out. And we said, okay, let's have a little kirtan. And Gandharvika Giridhari sings so nice. And I said, would you lead a kirtan? She said, yeah. And then I told her what melody to lead, but I just told her the most traditional Bengali melody that I know. You know, like this Hare Krishna,
Mm.
Krishna Krishna Hare. Because I knew if she sings that, I bet there's going to be some response from these people. So she was singing, and she sang it nice.
Mm.
I wish someone recorded that because it was really nice kirtan. And you could just see all these people started poking their heads in, and then someone came in and sat down, and they're all just kind of grooving, and then everyone in the kitchen's grooving on it. The whole place, you know, we're just like transcending all of those, any kind of national borders or anything,
Mm.
like, and just everybody connecting on the level of kirtan. It
Mm.
was that was even these little moments can become some of the most memorable
Yeah.
times, you know.
Like I had a very memorable time coming into Govardhan, driving in because Braja Sundari Radha
Oh
was
yeah,
just, she would not
yeah,
stop singing
yeah.
and she wouldn't change the melody. She just kept it on the same melody. I was like, okay, when's part two coming? But she just kept it on that part one and she drilled it into our head and it got really attached to the holy name. And she, I
It's a
was
good
closing
one.
my eyes. I was like, she's like a rock star type of girl. Like she can actually
Yeah,
sing like a
yeah.
professional singer. That was my
No,
vibe.
generally when she's hanging out, I'm just like, well, this is like my cousin hanging out here.
Yeah, she's got with me and her. I got a cousin vibe with
Like,
her too.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're all paisan.
Yeah.
But then she went into that. And you were right. I was like, I wasn't thinking rock star. I was just thinking like, I don't know, deep. It was like deep sadhaka, good
Yeah.
kirtan, good kirtan.
So that's how we entered, and we very quickly had that prashad. And then we very quickly went to Radha Kund. And
Oh,
the interesting thing about coming into Radha Kund, and a lot of people were with us, I had no clue what they were getting into. It was just it's a holy place. And Radha Kund is holy because it's where Krishna meets exclusively with Radha. At Govardhan, he's even a little bit more official because Krishna's meeting with his friends. And then, of course, in Vrindavan or Gokul or Nandagram is Krishna's with his family. So they're all different moods of Krishna, just like if you were with your family around my father, I'd act a certain way. Then your father goes away, you have your friends, you act a certain way with your friends. And then if you're with your lover, you act a certain another way. So Krishna is the
yeah.
most intimate at Radha Kund.
Like imagine if you were to go to Jerusalem or something, but there was such a theology like, well, Jesus relates to these people this way, and he relates to those people that way, and he relates to even in a deeper way, like in this place. And so each of these places that we visit have a very special mood of devotion that's present there and that one can cultivate there. And there's no place more intimate than Radha Kund.
So walking right into Radha Kund, and there was a blackout.
Yeah.
So everything was off, which was but everyone had like there was candles
Lighting
lamps
lamps,
everywhere.
floating them on the water.
Yeah, people are floating lamps, offering lamps, and it had such a beautiful romantic mystique. And we've
Really
been to a
did.
holy place. We just came from Rishikesh. We went to temples and stuff, but there was almost something about last night. You felt like you were not in this world.
Agreed.
I felt like, where am I? This isn't India anymore. This is somewhere else. And then you got Mohan Panda right in front of you, and he's got his face smeared with sandalwood paste. He's got cudgel under his eyes, and he's calling you, come here, my dear, and hugging you, throwing water over your head. And
Yeah.
it was otherworldly.
And I don't know if we should even get to the show today. Like we could just keep talking about this,
let's
because but I hadn't been to Radha Kund at nighttime in many years, actually.
yeah.
I can't remember the last time. It may have been 15 years ago or more, honestly. And there was something about it being dark like that, coming in at night, that was very, 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 very special.
Mhm.
And then, so maybe we could explain just a little bit about this, but a Punda is essentially a priest at a particular holy place. So when the pilgrims come, they assist you in performing rituals at the holy place.
Mm.
And so they sit you down, and they may have like the ingredients there to make an offering, like a puja. They may know the mantras to chant, and there's a whole systematic routine that they take you to. And it's a fact that in India, like a lot of the holy places that you go to, sometimes the pundits, they can be like pushy. They can be a little bit like trying to get money out of you,
Almost
right?
like
hustlers.
you're trying to
Yeah,
hustle, yeah, and
it's right that you give them some donation. It's proper. It completes the ceremony. But at the same time, traditionally they should have a mood of detachment and just wanting to help, wanting to serve. You don't always get that.
You don't get that a lot. You
And-
get
and-
people trying to hustle you
yeah.
for money. We're Americans. We've been hustled, and we don't like it.
And we're New Yorkers. We
Yeah,
know
we're New
that hustle.
Yorkers. People trying to hustle us. We don't talk to anybody. You walk down the street, ask you a question, don't talk to me.
But and even if that's the case, it's understandable a lot. You try to just kind of transcend it when you have to deal with it. But with Mohan Punda, who's someone that we've known for
Since he
30,
was
30
12.
years or something like
Since
that. Yeah. He takes you the way that he would lead that, he does things that no other pundit does. Like pundits will generally be chanting mantras with a certain intonation. He does that, and then he switches over to English so that everybody understands. He does it in the same intonation. We never heard
I know.
anybody do that, right? Like, go ahead.
What is it?
Nectar of devotion, right?
I am thinking.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking.
Radharani's lotus feet.
Yeah. So he's leading us in how we should pray, and he's doing it in our language, but with the traditional intonation. But he does other, usually the pundits are working on the karmic level too, where it's like you come here to get good karma, to get some blessings, to get some long life, to get some auspicious material results in your life. That's the most common approach. But with Radha Kund and with Mohan Punda, it's all on the deep level of coming there just for Krishna Prema, Radha Prema.
I had a deep connection with Radharani last night than I've ever had at Radha Kund.
There's
There's something about the atmosphere, the environment, everybody packing together. And Mohan Pandit just said, after we did the offer, the Radha Kund water to Radha Kund, he just said, close your eyes, think of Radharani, offer prayers to Radharani. And I was just like, I felt like a cowherd boy leading a calf. I was a calf.
Yeah,
Getting led by a cowherd boy.
And he's doing one thing after another, like he's sprinkling water on you now, and then he's pouring milk in your hands, and then he's putting some flowers in your hands, then he's sprinkling more water on you. Then it's kind of like you're going through this bath or something.
Yeah, like a cleansing ritual. Close your eyes, pray to Radharani. Radharani's here.
And what I really loved, and he did it several times throughout the course of it, is he said, now close your eyes. And then and this is what no other pundits, I've never had a pundit do. Now go deep, go deep, go deep in your prayer. Like that's the point. Is that you don't just get there and do a ritual just like mechanically and go. He said, now you go deep into your heart, really pray to Radha. That was in you, and then you're sitting there, you're sprinkled, you got all there's aroma, flowers,
someone's spilling milk down Mara's back.
But it feels good. It's like messy, but like spiritual messy. That's like. So you're all covered in,
and he's all in
rose water.
He's got his dhoti on. He just walks in the water like
halfway
in the water in his dhoti. He's like, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, there's like messy and dirty, and they're two different things, right? Like messy can be pure, right? And so they're like all the messiness is like all pure ingredients. And of course, there's nothing purer than like the water of Radha Kund.
Yeah.
But and everything that's being offered, lotus flowers, roses, burning camphor, all the aromas are just super beautiful and satisfying. And visually the whole thing is so stunning. And then you're covered in water and you got the milk in your hands and the flower aromas and everything. And then he's saying, close your eyes and now go deep, deep, deep. And it's kind of like all your senses are like purified by the sights and the smells and the sounds, bells ringing and mantras being chanted. It's all just powerful spiritual energy. And it starts to open up the heart, melt the heart, And then he says, go deep, deep. And you're like, yes, this is what I need to be doing every day. And when I go home, when I go back to New York, you remember this time sitting on the bank of Radha Kund, going deep in your heart, It's so nice.
So good. I got a message from just now. I was supposed to get it this morning, but I just got it now from Satchidananda Swami, who we're about to meet with right after the podcast. We're having a meeting with Satchidananda Swami at Govinda Kund at Govardhan Hill. And he's breaking out of his 1 month vrata to see us.
That's something, right? Every year he comes here, lives austere, and really doesn't, he's a person that 11 months out of the year, he's in demand. He's moving fast. He's speaking constantly.
Students all over the world.
Exhausted. Programs to do.
He shuts it down. Yeah. He turns it off.
1 month a year.
1 month a year. This is for Krishna.
Right.
And
It's all for Krishna.
It's all for
but
Krishna. But
now
this is
I
just
go
you and me,
within,
Krishna.
all within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he said, listen, I've got a way for you to increase the experience of being with Govardhan. The first one, he said, go like you're searching for Krishna.
Okay.
That was the first.
Search. You got to
Search for Krishna. The second one, he says, see Krishna's hands in everything that happens.
Okay. Even uncomfortable things or
Really
potentially disappointing
stub
things.
my toe. You know what I mean? Or
I got a little sick.
You see, where is this supposed to bring me? Where is this situation supposed to bring me? Is it supposed to just make me sad and bitter about the experience? So he's setting up a proper
Mindset.
Yeah, proper mindset. That's a good way to put it. And then he says, and also just try to please Krishna. What can you do to please Krishna? Those three things will turn your whole pilgrimage around.
Say him again.
Search for Krishna.
Search for
See Krishna's hand in everything that happens on pilgrimage.
everything.
And try to please Krishna.
Mm.
Write that down, people.
Not just try to get something for yourself,
Yeah.
exactly, but try to please Krishna.
And tomorrow we're going to go to, usually how the New York skyline looks a certain way, and the Chicago, I don't know, who else has a skyline?
Well,
St. Louis.
Seattle's got that thing. St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Anyway, there's a Vrindavan skyline. When you think of Vrindavan, you think of Madan Mohan, but you also think of Keshi Ghat. So Keshi Ghat was like sort of an abandoned palace. And when Prabhupada first went to India before the temple was built, Prabhupada's disciples and Prabhupada lived at Keshi Ghat. It's a palace on the banks of the Yamuna with steps down to the Yamuna. And they were almost going to get that. They felt like they were going to get that palace donated to them because they were built by these kings of Rajasthan mainly, or actually probably kings from all over, who built sort of appreciations for Krishna, appreciations for Vrindavan. So they build beautiful monuments where a pastime took place, like Kusham Sarovar, the giant lake that's 11 elephants deep or something like that. And the beautiful monuments to this day, sandstone, gorgeous things. And they built temples all over. And they built this place, Keshi Ghat.
How did they stack the elephants up under the water?
How do they measure it? Yeah. Why measure it with elephant?
Elephants, okay.
19 elephants high, 14 elephants high. Anyway, so
Who's that? Timothy Tucker.
Timothy Tucker, you're highlighted on our screen, Timothy. Can you guys hear us? Thumbs up if you can hear us, Achyuta.
Are we muted?
Where's Janeshwar?
Oh, Tim O'Reilly gave a thumbs up. But
We're turning off cameras, everybody. I felt like I was on a roll. I can't remember seconds. Okay.
Okay, we're back.
All right, we're back. Thumbs up there.
Nobody's
David Murphy, can you hear us?
Murray.
David Murray, rather. Sorry.
Great.
Okay, David says good. So anyway, the people at Mandala purchased this old castle. I don't know how you purchase a castle or purchase a palace. Renovate it. Looks beautiful. Me and Mary got to go this spring. And we're going to go there, do a little meditation, a little Hari Katha there. Going to have lunch at the Radha Gopinath temple hopping.
Okay.
Vrindavan shopping.
And
Damodar.
mopping.
Damodar. We're going to mop up our heart.
Okay.
Mop up our heart by offering candles to Damodar at the Krishna Balaram temple.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward to having Darshan. I'm really looking forward to being with Prabhupada Samadhi tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm really excited.
nice.
Yeah. So that's going to be our last big day tomorrow. I'm looking forward. I'm excited. I'm going to miss everybody. I'm
Yeah.
excited for it.
Do you want to talk more about Vrindavan? Or do you want to? Oh, no show tomorrow,
No show
people.
tomorrow.
We'll be back the following
Anything
day.
else you want to say about Vrindavan?
There's so much. Just if you point me in a direction, I'm happy to go there. But
We do notice people come to Vrindavan and have a bad experience.
sometimes.
And it's a problem because if you just wander into the place without any type of guidance or perspective, or like Maharaj said this
Yeah.
morning, perspective and focus,
Yeah.
then you just miss out on things that are right in front of you. He used this great analogy, which I'm going to steal, which is like a hearing aid. You can hear, you just can't hear every frequency. So as soon as you got the hearing aid,
If you need a hearing aid and you don't
Yeah.
have one, you're saying.
yeah. So as soon as you got the hearing aid, you realize, oh, I couldn't hear the birds sing. The birds were always singing, but I couldn't hear them because they're in a higher frequency. So Vrindavan's like that. There's certain things that we can't see because we're not tuned into them. And sort of and what we do on our pilgrimage is we create a process of purification through lecturing, through studying, through Harikatha, through hearing sacred story, through practicing our chanting, through tons of kirtan, through bathing in the Ganga. Then when we come to Vrindavan, there's a little bit more. Everything's a little bit more in focus, and there's better perspective of how to understand this place.
Mm.
And I'm looking at everybody, and we're a little exhausted because I'm sort of pushing right now, but everyone's in this very, very high mode, and it makes our life very easy and enjoyable. We get to be pilgrims instead of, psychiatrists.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people could come here. There's this India's special in a way that it's a land of extremes. I think growing up as a New Yorker, you're used to New York being a place of extremes too, right?
Yeah.
And India more so. And you come to a place that has some of the most refined people, scholars, incredibly well refined, dignified, spiritual, religious people. You have some of the most incredible architecture and history. And especially we come here for for spiritual, theological reasons that, there's a tradition here that, boy, it's so special, so uniquely beautiful and philosophically deep and spiritually deep. And so you may come here saying, oh, Vrindavan is like the center of it all, it's the center of Krishna Bhakti, which has got this incredibly beautiful theology and all that. And then you get here and you might look and say, well, it looks like the whole place is falling apart. Like you might look at it that way, oh, it's dirty over here, it's polluted, the sewage is a problem over there, a lot of honking going on, traffic is a little bit messed up around here. It's, I suppose for some people, they might arrive and say, I've read about it in these books about what Vrindavan is like in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and I come, and why does it have to be this way? Why does it have to be, and in one sense, it does break the heart, that especially as it gets more and more commercialized and there's more and more traffic and there's more and more noise and there's more and more big buildings, like that is heartbreaking, But I think, there's a practical way to look at it. Well, one practical way to look at it is just like, yeah, other nations invaded this place and
Repeatedly
repeatedly
for 600 years.
And not only did they not appreciate this very refined culture, they were actually quite opposed to it. So it got no support. And then when they finally pull out, it's hard to put together the kind of back in you go to, even today, if you go to Jaipur, it doesn't feel it doesn't feel polluted, and it's
A little polluted.
Well, maybe the air now.
But also, you got to. They're also, cities designed for, horses or carts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Kind of jammed in with cars and buses.
but my point is that there were kings there that held that place down. Through a lot more of it. It didn't get as crushed. As much as places like there. Even Vrindavan was a place that was just it was. They say that if you go back 500 years, there was such opulence in this area and so on. And that whenever, the latest Muslim ruler would, get the idea that I need a little, I need to increase the treasury a bit. You just go and raid it again and again and again.
So not only that, not just decimating temples, slaughtering Brahmins, destroying
So you're
temples.
crushing the culture in so many ways. It's amazing that the culture is still here.
But if you read I've read Persian historians say they go to Mathura and they've never seen a more beautiful place on this planet.
Right.
So it's hard to even believe that. The interesting thing is sometimes we have to say, well, there's an uppercut.
Well, that's where I was going next. Uppercut and
uppercut.
percut.
This unmanifest. There's a manifest Vrindavan that we're seeing with our eyes, and I see a Limpka bottle on the ground and a Coca-Cola sign and some garbage and
gutter
trash.
Full of sewage.
And the guru is saying, hey, you have to look past this. This is actually a spiritual place. You can't see it. You're just seeing some trash or some open sewage. But 600 years ago, there wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was actually, according to historians that were not even Indian, they were breathtaking.
Yeah.
But you even have to look through that.
Right.
Because the mode of goodness can throw you into another spin the other way. It's actually a spiritual realm. It's not to be compared. Even if everything was picture perfect, don't think that that's the spiritual world too. There is something even more so going on here that we can't perceive. That's the unmanifest Vrindavan.
Right. And so perhaps it's all meant to be in one sense that we come and we see a place that's going to challenge us to go deeper, not just to see on the surface.
You know what I was thinking when I was young, we used to play in what's that place called where Bruce Springsteen was from?
Jersey?
Asbury Park. So when we used to play in Asbury Park at the Stone Pony, that was a ghetto. But it was a ghetto that once was like a seaside town that people went with their family.
Yeah.
And then by the time
everything fell apart in the 70s and 80s.
1991, it was like tragic. And it was almost scary. We just go to the club, lock everything, unload all their stuff, hide in the club, stay there all night. And now if you go to Asbury, it's changed again. It's just turned around. And now it's desirable real estate. People want to move there. So what we're seeing is part of time. The time. There's a time factor that sort of affects things. Things will blossom, things will grow, roads will get paved, roads will get destroyed, it will get crushed, it will catch on fire, it will sprout beautiful flowers. It's just changing like that. We're in a period where, when we were here in the 80s and 90s, the government was just like reckless and everything was tragic. Now it's sort of like it's getting more zipped up. There's a strong government. So the crime is much more less. But what you have is, we're moving ahead. We're progressing. And there's highways. Like there's 8-lane highways. There was never that. There was 1-lane roads to Vrindavan with huge holes in them. And there was covered with, camel carts, ox carts, guys on rickshaws. And there was one ambassador vehicle white cars that everyone drove. So those things are always going to change. And we are trying to be like archaeologists and dig right where Krishna's lotus feet is. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for material beauty will come and go, but we're looking for something under that. And you get there by hearing.
Yeah, there's whatever the changes are, there's going to be certain people that can know and feel what this place is. And as long as there's those kind of people here, then they can take you by the hand and help you feel it and understand it too. Right. And so maybe it is, at least, just what you're just reading. What were those 3 rules again? Search for
Krishna. See Krishna's hand in everything that happens.
Yeah.
Try to please Krishna.
So we're here to search. The gopis were searching for Krishna, running through these forests, searching for Krishna. The Goswamis also were praying like that. Hey, what is it? Hey, Radhe, Brajadevi, like, where is Radha? Where is Krishna? I'm searching. And we may come here and have to, in a sense, try to search like that too, and see God's hand in everything. If it's a little bit hard to see Vrindavan, if it takes us some time, if it takes us some effort, if it takes some letting go and some encouragement and someone that's deeper to chant for us and chant with us and speak to us and show us, and then then it opens up. Then maybe Krishna's hands in that too. Maybe that's the way that we kind of have to show that this is what we want. We don't want the things of this world. We want the spiritual realm, and it's just hidden under a thin layer of material world here, but you can tap into it and then feel it,
Yeah, you could be in a material paradise and it could be hell. There
Yeah.
could be tons of horrible things happening in a material paradise.
Yeah.
But that being said, I love it here.
Yeah.
I love it here. I'm inspired. I'm excited to wake up in the morning. I'm laying in bed. Oh, what a day that was today. Incredible day today. I'm really excited for tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
I remember we came here, I think it was 2000, and it must have been. That was right when we started. And I think I had gone 4 or 5 years without coming to Vrindavan at that time. And it changed so much in that 4 or 5 years. Like what got built up, especially around Panchkrosh Vrindavan. It was like, as we were pulling in, we pulled in on a highway that was never there, and we came in from an angle that had never, I had these memories of how you arrive, you get off this road, and then you take a left, and you're going down this long, road, and these feelings begin to well up in you as you're going through, and you start to recognize everything. And I was so used to that being my entry, and I slipped in through what just seemed like like any other built up, rundown city in India, and suddenly we're there, and I'm like, what just happened? And for the first day, I'm walking around, and really, I was just feeling pain in my heart more than anything, and just feeling like, is it gone? Are those feelings that I always would have here? Did it just disappear forever? And then we went out one day, and we did it was like kind of a marathon day. We wanted to go to Mangalarti, like the very early, you know, ceremonies in the temples. So I forget, 5 a.m., 4:35. Yeah. We went out to Radha Raman. Then we went to Gokulananda Temple. Then we went to Nidhivan. Then we went to Imlital. All these very special, same places as I've always gone. Some look a little different, and then we went back, had lunch, rested a bit. Then we went out in the night, and we walked through the Goshala. We went to Kalia Ghat. We went to the Samadhi of Prabodhananda Saraswati. We went to that temple of that Kalia Krishna temple.
Yes, that's one of my favorite temples.
It's a very cool temple. And then we went up to
ancient temple of Krishna Kalia. No one knows about it.
Some people know.
We went last year.
But then we went up to Madan Mohan Temple, and then the sun was setting. We're up at the Madan Mohan, and then you know what I just said? It's still here. It's a little harder to break through. The peacocks aren't there. It used to be, it was always peacocks, but peacocks like quiet areas, and you don't hear the peacocks anymore. You used to be constantly hearing the peacocks.
If we had a couple more days here, I would take people out to these unexplored areas.
Well, that's another. Now you also
they're just
encouraged to explore other places.
Braj is a huge area. There's 12 forests of Braj, and we go to Govardhan. We go to mainly in Govardhan. We go to Radha Kund. We go to Raman Reti, Vrindavan, where the Rasa Leela took place. That's the main staples, but those have gotten built up. But you can go out into the fields where there's so many different places where people go on the whole Vraja Mandala Prikrama.
Yeah. Gokula.
And
so many places.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to go to some of those places too. Oh man.
Yeah, I thought we were going to not go to Vrindavan, just stay at Govardhan, but now I'm excited that everybody's excited.
You have to go to Vrindavan.
I know. You
have to go to Krishna Balaram Mandir. You have to go to Radha Govinda and Radha Raman and Radha Damodar and all these places. You got to go somehow, right? Calls.
I'm just reading in Mother Yamuna Devi's book about Prabhupada opening the Krishna Balaram Mandir. Just imagine that. It's like I'm having there is, in the same way, when Lord Chaitanya was here, there was definitely a Bhakti Renaissance, and historically there have been different Bhakti Renaissances. We are in one right now,
No
We
doubt.
are in that wave right now. And it's not like it's the top of the wave. We're like, so when you look at waves, I'm like, oh, I think a wave's coming in. We're in that beginning of this tsunami of bhakti, which is happening. And it's exciting. And it's happening internationally. And I will say Wisdom of the Sages community is a big part of it in America and throughout the world. And I'm honored to be part of it, but it's taken over everywhere. It's like Radha Kund was so packed. I missed it for the appearance of Radha Kund. I remember going there when I was a brand new devotee, and it was at midnight you bathe. And I just thought, wow, it's crowded in this weird little village in the middle of nowhere. It's a cool festival. Everybody's singing. Now everybody's bathing at midnight. And
There's a few hundred people here. It's
there's all
crowded.
these, yeah, it's a few hundred people bathing at midnight. I heard there were so many people. It was like all day long.
Thousands.
Thousands and thousands. But there's some type of bhakti renaissance happening internationally. And another great thing is all these things that have been taken from India, wealth, actual jewels, right? The culture so badly has been invaded ridiculously. The Brahmins have been slaughtered. The people, but there's almost like this India revenge now.
Revenge.
And it happened in a very soft way. It wasn't like you punched me, I'm going to punch you back harder. It wasn't like punch for a punch. It went out because India is notorious for this, or famous for this. I can't say notorious. Famous for this. India doesn't conquer by the sword. It conquers by culture. Mm-hmm. And it's a very cultured place. So even though so many cultures came in with the sword, trying to convert by the sword, India went out with their culture. And there's yoga studios all over the world. There's yoga studios. There's Ayurvedic practitioners all over the world. People study Indian dance all over the world. People study Indian architecture now is becoming more and more popular, like Shilpa Shastra. And of course, spirituality of Sanatana Dharma. We're frustrated with these Abrahamic traditions very often that are condemning every other religion. And there's such a broad, wide-gated understanding of spirit here that it's very attractive if you grew up in an authoritarian dynamic with God. It's the revenge. Okay. Revenge through culture. And of course, there's gulab jamuns. There's always revenge. Just the cooking itself. The cooking itself. It's why Columbus took off looking for India.
For spices.
Spices, probably a little gold mixed in there too. But
well, the spices were the gold.
Spices, yeah.
You know, if you're in Europe and you don't have access to all these different spices that they have. You know. Yeah. All right.
So how long are you going to stay in Vrindavan after I leave?
I think at least until the 17th of November.
Okay,
Then I may go to Maipur after that. Might stay a little longer. I don't know. To see. I think
you have some adventures planned, or are you going to just stay solid?
I want to work. I want to get work done on my book.
Okay.
Yeah. More than anything.
All right.
Let's see.
We got Amarananda here.
Amarananda.
Amarananda's here. Amarananda is our friend from where are you from?
Bosnia.
Say where you're from.
Yeah.
Amarananda, how are you, Prabhu? You got to speak right in the microphone.
Hare Krishna. If you look at me how I am, blessed in Vrindavan, going around, so happy to be here.
He's one of our Sage Group leaders, but not only that, he's just a great devotee, a great friend, and a beautiful example of a person practicing bhakti. How you just got and he arranged this whole trip so he could meet up with Wisdom of the Sages.
Yeah, yes. Actually, I have to say, last 7 years I couldn't come. When I came, I could really feel, no, it's joke. I was here. I felt home. And some devotee friend told me, come on, it's not true that you were not here 7 years. We feel you, we see you. And that was really encouraging, that I feel, yes, it's true. Part of your heart is stay in Vrindavan, never leave. And yeah, so I wanted to come. And this year I could get a visa. But then I thought, you are in this period here. So I turn around. I want to be with you as my very genuine inspiration in my bhakti. Definitely.
Prabhu. Prabhu.
Honestly.
Amarnanda is famous just for being the softest, hardest, sweetest person, and he is a sage group leader.
Yeah. How's your sage group going?
I hope they should answer that, but I think we becoming very good friends with all of them and developing good friendship. There are, I have to say, brilliant people there coming through this wisdom of the sage. I'm learning from them. I have to say, I'm just facilitating them. They are really brilliant. They're really brilliant. I'm happy we are sharing. We cannot meet in person, but at least we can confidentially share our realization. We can be open up to each other. At least that exchange can be there. I cannot give them prasadam, receive prasadam or present, but at least we can talk in regular basis, which is very amazing.
I want you to be my sage group leader. Please. Please.
No, they'll take you in.
You take me.
I think our session will take for hours. We will just talk and talk and talk. And
Prabhu.
thank you for arranging such a beautiful
Thank you.
community, I can say, all over the world.
You're
Thank
an
you.
important part of it.
Yeah, Prabhu.
I'm happy to die in this community.
Not too soon.
Not to see.
Ah.
Thank you.
All right, Radha.
We have to wind down early today. I
Maybe
think
we just wind it down.
just wind it down today. Everybody's like worked up. We got to take off soon anyway. But we might call that a day. Here in Vrindavan, no show tomorrow.
We're back at what time? what
7
day?
a.m. on Thursday.
7 a.m. on Thursday.
We'll have
Okay.
more adventures from Vrindavan. Thanks everybody for coming here on Zoom. And I know we're jumping all over the place. Sorry we didn't give you the Bhagavatam today, but we wanted to share our love for Govardhan and Vrindavan and Radha Kund. Love you guys. Got some good people here. Hello. Oh, Mukesh. Beautiful day for a beautiful day. Let the magic continue to flow in a big Haribo.